If I was to lose everything and have to restart my marketing agency today, what 10 things would I wish I knew to get myself restarted? You're here because you want to start your own marketing agency. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the mistakes I made so that you can avoid them and save yourself the time and the hassle. Let's go. Hello, welcome back to the How to Start Your Marketing Agency series. My name's Pedro, and if this is the first time you're seeing my face, then you need to go back an episode, because this is part 2. So in the previous episode, gave a bit of backstory as to my journey and what the series is all about. So it really sets the tone, and I recommend that you go watch that before you watch this one, so that you can get the blueprint in its entirety. Now, in this video, we're actually going to be talking about the mistakes that I wish I had avoided. So in other words, the lessons that I've learned along the way. Now, rather than being boring and sitting here in my office, we're actually going to go out and we're going to go on a walk and discuss these things. It's a bit of a change of environment, and it's an excuse for me to make use of this Ronin SC DJI gimbal, which is like my favorite gadget at the minute. It makes everything much smoother, it looks a lot cooler, and I'm just going to geek out on you, so I apologize. Should we just get going? Yeah, probably. Okay, so one of the biggest lessons that I've learned on my journey so far is that it's really important to work around whatever times suit you. So I don't just mean like commitments and things like that, I mean actual working hours that you commit to. So if you're not a morning person and you'd prefer to work in the afternoon, you don't have to feel pressured to work the 9 to 5. The next bit of advice I have for you actually comes down to your ability to market yourself, your products and services. If you can't secure clients, you can't get yeses, then you're never going to be able to do that for other people. Another thing is that you're going to need to accept failure as part of your weekly routine. So mistakes and failures, they're going to be normal. It's all going to be a learning process, and it's going to be a continuous process. So long as you've proved to yourself that you can get those results before and you're confident that you're able to deliver that long term, then it doesn't matter if a post doesn't perform so well. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that if you didn't know how to market, then you weren't going to get very far. If you can't prove that you can't get yeses, it's not going to work out for you. So how do you get those yeses? Well, it's all about learning the foundations of marketing. So the marketing principles are what makes up the foundations, the groundwork that you're gonna actually be using to build out your marketing infrastructures. So things like how to find your ideal client, your marketing message, and the voice and the persona that you portray online. And if you want a head start and you want to understand what these foundations are, then if you click the link in the description, or you head over to the channel and you click on the first link that features, then you'll be taken to a marketing foundations bundle that you can download pretty much instantly, and that'll give you access to cheat sheets, videos, reports, just all sorts of good resources that will put you in front. I also want to mention that it's really important to document and not create. So I spoke in my last video about how that's very much the reason as to why this series was born, and without it, it probably wouldn't have been. But what's really important to take away from that concept is that you're showing up, that you're not letting imperfections get in the way of you being able to show up and be present. Okay, I can't quite remember what was on the list, so let me just open it up. You want to know one thing? There is such thing as a wrong client. So although you want to get sales across the line and you want to make money, and that's probably part of the reason as to why you're starting this agency, one thing you need to understand is that you have to qualify your clients. Just like there's a good fit for them hiring you, there is a good fit for you taking them on board. There's so many reasons as to why a client may not be a good fit. And the important thing is to ensure that you're qualifying that client and you're analyzing as to whether or not they are a good fit. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting not only your time, but theirs. And you're going to end up regretting it as well. Yes, you're going to be making money, but the amount in which they pester you is going to outweigh the investment that they're making into you. So know your worth. That's the next one. That's really, really important too. You need to understand what you're worth. The next point I wanted to make is very much that your analytics are super important, to the point where your data will determine your level of influence. Your ability to actually analyze things and track the success of things like posts, of posting times. So ultimately it ends up being almost like a vehicle for growth that you can leverage. So make sure you live in your analytics and that you're constantly using it to propagate what works and to eliminate what doesn't. So to some, the next bit of advice I have may come across as really obvious and simplistic, but it's something that I really need to mention. So when you're creating content, the primary aim is not virility. You're not trying to make that post necessarily blow up. The idea is that you're trying to stack small wins on top of each other. Really take that on board and really focus on creating a strategy and a structure that focuses on growth and building, even if that requires patience and it seems like it's almost non-existent. It's cold outside, look at this. Can you see this? I hope you can. Hope you can tell how much I'm suffering right now from the cold. What a difference this office makes though. I've just put the heating on. Yeah, we got to point 9, I think it was. We had one more to go, and number 10 was genuinely to enjoy yourself, to have fun with it. I would definitely say that number 10 is arguably the most important piece of advice that I have for you. Enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. That's it. That's a wrap on this video. And thank goodness, to be honest, because we had some technical glitches along the way, which was a little bit frustrating. My gimbal just started randomly freaking out, but we've gotten there in the end and I enjoyed myself. I hope you did too and that you drew some value from this. If you did, make sure you leave a like rating and subscribe as well so you can stay up to date with the latest uploads. The next episode I'm actually going to be discussing how I made £10,000 in my first month as an agency owner. So make sure you stick around for that, and yeah, I look forward to doing this again real soon.